Alright guys, you've been asking for it, so of course in today's video, we're going to react to and break down all the highlights from Green Bay Packers Family Night Practice. And guys, just wanted to let you know that this video is being powered by BetUS, more on that later. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch this event live, but luckily I did record the entire thing, and I just got done watching the whole practice. So I have a ton of highlights for you guys, for anyone that wants to see the clips again if you already watched the practice, or for people that weren't able to catch it like me. Here are all the highlights from this practice, which includes a lot of 1v1s, also some 11v11s with some live tackling, and some kicking as well. It was an awesome event. Again, I wish I could have watched this one live, or better yet, go to the event. So I hope everyone that was able to go to that event had a good time. I mean, this team just has a whole different vibe to it, a whole different type of energy, and I'm very, very excited for 2024. If you happen to be a new viewer here and want to stay in the loop with everything Green Bay Packers, you'll find it all here right on this channel. I would definitely suggest going down and clicking that subscribe button. Also, turn on post notifications to not miss any of the content that comes out on this channel. We post highlights and recaps from every practice during training camp, and of course this will go into the season with game recaps, PFF grades, live reactions to the game, and much more. Would really appreciate it if you went down and hit subscribe. We actually just hit 56,000 subscribers. I can't thank you guys enough. To everyone who's been subscribed over the years and all the new subscribers, seriously guys, thank you. Before we dive into the highlights, I want to thank BetUS for sponsoring today's video. And right now on BetUS, using my custom link down in the description below, you can get a 125% deposit match on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. BetUS has a fast and easy withdrawal and deposit process and has the best betting variety in the industry. Before the NFL season officially starts, you can hop on over to BetUS and bet on who you think will win certain awards, such as Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive, Defensive Rookie, Comeback Player of the Year, MVP, Coach of the Year. Also, you can bet on player stats who would lead certain categories, passing touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. There's an endless possibility here. So say if you wanted to bet on Edgerrin Cooper winning the Defensive Rookie of the Year, that would be at plus 2,800. So if you were to put $25 down, you could win $700 if Edgerrin Cooper did win Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's been very impressive during training camp, had a few nice plays during this family night. Guys, always remember to gamble responsibly, and again, thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video. Go get your 125% deposit match up to $2,000 with my link down below. All right, so now let's dive into the highlights from family night. We're going to start with all the 1v1s, at least the highlights. And on this first clip, it's going to be a comeback route. Jordan Love to Malik Heath against Jair Alexander, and Jordan Love, very impressive throw, but Malik Heath, really strong hands there, bringing that down. But also Jair, great coverage, trying to knock that ball away, basically knocking Malik Heath's helmet off in the process. I don't know if that would be ruled a touchdown. It looks like he might have had possession when the ball crossed the plane. I'm not sure. It could be ruled at the 1-yard line. It's an impressive play by both of these guys. You know, for Malik Heath to go up here 1v1 against Jair, go up and catch a contested ball like that, it's impressive. And guys, that's our 6th wide receiver. Like, it's crazy how much talent is in this wide receiver room. Really nice pass, nice comeback route, nice defense, all around a nice play. Here's a 1v1, Jayden Reed versus Kalen King. We see Kalen King in outside shade, Jayden Reed out of the slot, and it's going to be a simple 9 route, but Jayden Reed puts a nice foot in the dirt to kind of threaten inside, take Kalen King off his platform, and then of course use his speed to burn down the seam here and allow Jordan Love to float it over top in stride right in the breadbasket for a touchdown. Kalen King's been getting snaps a lot in the slot, so this is good work for him against a guy like Jayden Reed, who is becoming a premier slot receiver in the NFL. But man, this Jordan Love to Jayden Reed connection on a deep ball has been on fire as of late, and it's no different here. Jayden Reed just was that top end speed. Kalen King kind of left in the dust there for a touchdown. Here's another rep for Kalen King in the slot, but here's Dimitri Stanley across from him, an undrafted free agent from this season, running a slant route against a Kalen King outside shade man coverage here. Puts a little step outside, cuts inside, then cuts into that slant and makes a very impressive, catch over the head here. And Kalen King, still decent coverage, but just more of an impressive throw and catch. Jordan Love to Dimitri Stanley here. Love putting it only where his wide receiver can get it. Stanley Stanley and Julian Hicks, these two undrafted free agent wide receivers that were signed, pretty much right after the draft, they've been impressive as well. In my opinion, they'll be practice squad guys this year, but it just goes to show, like, the Packers wide receiver room has more depth than just the first 6 guys. I mean, the 7th guy probably being Grant DuBose. He's been impressive, looking like he's taking the second-year jump here in this training camp. And then you have guys like Dimitri Stanley, Julian Hicks, who are making plays with Jordan Love against, a player like Kalen King, who's also a rookie, but was drafted. So it's very impressive to see these plays made by these undrafted free agent wide receivers. Very nice catch there. Here's an awesome 1v1 rep, Bo Melton versus Robert Rochelle. I think it's Michael Pratt throwing the football. We see Robert Rochelle in outside leverage man coverage here, and Bo Melton needs to run a 9 route. He does a little bit of a stutter step, and then simply just using his top end speed to get to the outside. That's Bo Melton's game, man. Using his top end speed to beat the defender, and he does that here against Robert Rochelle with ease, and a very nicely thrown ball by Michael Pratt. Just enough outside where Bo Melton can kind of leak a couple steps outside right before that ball is there to create that separation against Robert Rochelle. Again, just really late hands, not allowing the defensive back to see when his hands are going up and get a hand up and block that pass. Very impressive throw by Michael Pratt. Nice deep route, 9 route here by Bo Melton. For the final 1v1 we have, it's Jordan Love throwing a deep ball to Christian Watson, 1v1 versus Jair Alexander. And this is probably the play of the night. If we're being honest, it's probably the throw of the night, the play of the night, the catch of the night, and it was Love to Christian Watson, and they've been connecting a ton this training camp, especially on a deep ball. And that is just an absolutely insane throw. I feel bad for the security cop there getting kind of cleated in the face. Hopefully he's all good. But what a throw, guys. This is against Jair Alexander, one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, and it's great coverage. Like, there's nothing he can do about that. It was just an absolutely beautifully thrown ball, and we'll have another angle of this, and we'll let it play once more through, but it's just a simple 9 route by Christian Watson. I mean, we've heard that before, but he can take the top off a defense against any defensive back in the NFL, and that's proven here. I mean, this guy is an actual threat. If he can stay on the field, man, this offense is just so much more dangerous because of things like this, and what a throw, man. It's just such an impressive throw. Here's another angle from the end zone just to, again, showcase, threading the needle here over the top, high and outside, like an actual game of inches. And this is why they call it the game of inches, because Jair was inches away from breaking up this pass, but it was just a perfect throw. You see Watson kind of doing a little bit of hand fighting there, not allowing Jair to get hands onto him, and, just using his insane speed to get away from Jair. Again, it's great coverage. I don't put this on Jair at all in any game sense. Most games, quarterbacks aren't going to be making that throw every time. A lot of times, Jair is going to get a hand on that, maybe even come up with an interception against most quarterbacks, But man, what a throw, what a catch, definitely the play of the night. Now moving to some 11v11 footage. It was a little bit of a struggle for the first team offense, man. This defense just continues to fly around, and here's a clip showcasing that. It's going to be a quick little hitch route at the bottom of the screen here to Jaden Reed, a little bit of a late throw, and Javon Bullard does an excellent job breaking down on that and breaking the ball up. You see Jaden Reed do the seatbelt celebration, pretty much like, hey, I stopped that from being an interception. I turned into a defender here. You'd like to see Jordan Love get more in rhythm here, not kind of double clutch that and just fire it away to that hitch. A little bit of a timing miscue, but again, this is what practice is for. You'd like to see that timed a little better, but nonetheless, a great defense by Javon Bullard breaking down on this. He diagnoses it, breaks down, at least gets a hand on that ball and breaks it up. Would like to see him come up with that ball, but great defense either way. Here's a nice play. Sean Clifford throwing a deep comeback on the right side to Grant DuBose, really firing this ball. I mean, putting everything behind it there, and I believe it's Jamon Green in coverage who kind of throws him out of bounds, but nice rhythm throw here by Sean Clifford. He had some good plays. He had some bad plays, kind of, again, an inconsistent practice for Sean Clifford. There was times where he didn't even see a defender pretty much about to sack him, and he's kind of scrambling around back there, but he also had some nice in-rhythm throws, such as this. Also saw a decent bit of nice throws by Michael Pratt. I believe I have one to go over, but a nice throw here to Grant DuBose, who, like I said earlier, has been impressive this training camp, and I think is truly fighting for wide receiver number 6 between Malik Heath. He's going to have to showcase what he can do in run blocking, what he can do on special teams in order to make this roster roster as the 6th wide receiver. Maybe the Packers keep 7 because they want to keep Grant DeBose on the roster, thinking another team might snag him off the practice squad. But nonetheless, he's had a good training camp so far. He's a nice catch here from Sean Clifford. Not many running highlights from family night because there's not much live tackling. There was a session during the 2-minute drill that there was live tackling, but the first team offense went 4 and out. So here's another running play, but again, it's not live tackling, but I truly think this probably would have went for a touchdown. You see a really nice, edge seal block there by Elton Jenkins to seal the edge for A.J. Dillon. He cuts underneath and then gets to the end zone. Maybe I would say it would be a battle here for him against Xavier McKinney right there. Maybe it gets stopped at the 1 to 2 yard line. Let me know what you think. Xavier McKinney, one of the best tackling safeties in the NFL, and I think he does come down here and at least put a hit on A.J. Dillon, but you'd love to see A.J. Dillon kind of like power into the end zone there. But again, this isn't live tackling, but still a nice run by A.J. Dillon, who has definitely slimmed down this year and looks a little bit quicker. We've seen a couple highlights of him getting, tackled easily by Keyshawn Nixon, and you don't want to see that, but he's still running back number 2 right now. Obviously, Josh Jacobs, number 1, Marshawn Lloyd kind of number 3. Running, not much going in this practice. Again, it's been kind of a tough sledding for the running game for the Packers offense so far. The offensive line hasn't been too hot, so hopefully that gets cleaned up once Zach Tom can finally come back. It's just been the inconsistency there, having different guys plug in, but yeah, nice run here by A.J. Dillon. Here's a play in 11v11s. It's going to be Jordan Love play action to a deep crosser or kind of post route to Romeo Doubs, and man, that's just shades of like Dallas Cowboys playoff game where you see Jordan Love drop back, play action, take a 3-step drop, and then he finds Romeo Doubs across the middle of the field wide open. I mean, he is just so good at this timing with Jordan Love on play action throws. It just shades of another 87 in Green Bay history. Jordy Nelson and Aaron Rodgers, I feel like this was kind of a similar theme. Play action, Jordy Nelson is screaming across the field, and Aaron Rodgers would find him wide open. So I really like to see this, man. Romeo Doubs has been on fire this training camp, and a lot of people are starting to realize that and go, hey, right now he looks like he could be the number 1 wide receiver, but it is still training camp. Let's wait for the actual regular season and see who stands up or steps up to the plate, and it definitely could be Romeo Doubs. He's one of the most consistent guys in terms of that wide receiver room, and man, he's been so good this training camp, and that's exactly why. The guy just gets open. Here's another angle of that. It's against Corey Ballantyne. You could see why he gets open. Just a subtle foot in the dirt and burst through to the other side. You see Anthony Johnson Jr. breaking down on him at the top of that catch there. But man, I think that was man coverage. I don't know why Corey Ballantyne just stopped tracking him. Maybe he was kind of cover 3, but Ballantyne's watching his hips, so tells me it's man coverage there by Ballantyne, but he kind of just stopped tracking him. Not sure why, but nonetheless, Romeo Doubs getting wide open across the field yet again. He's just so smooth with it, man. It's nothing crazy, but he's just so smooth with it, and he gets open. Here's another super impressive play by Romeo Doubs. I think it's Doubs against Nixon. I can't really tell if it's Nixon. I think it is. Again, the folded jersey. I'm trying to read the back of that name there, but I think it is Nixon, and it's a fade route. Jordan Love fade to Romeo Doubs, and man, just a strong hands type of catch over the helmet of Keyshawn Nixon. Romeo Doubs has made plenty of plays like this in the NFL in live games where Jordan Love throws a fade route and this guy goes up and gets it. He is super aggressive attacking the ball. He has super strong hands. He's great at timing these type of passes where he has late hands, where the defensive back kind of doesn't know what happened until it happens. And you see that there for, I think, Keyshawn Nixon. This is probably the second most impressive play of the night. That one deep throw to Christian Watson, definitely the most impressive 1v1 rep. But here, just an impressive rep in 11v11s, a fade route to Romeo Doubs on the outside against Keyshawn Nixon for a touchdown. Here's an impressive throw in 11v11s by third quarterback Michael Pratt. He looked good all family night, in my opinion. Definitely can't battle for quarterback number 2. Fires a missile over the middle here to Julian Hicks. And yes, this is against the third team defense, but I'm very excited for this preseason to see, Michael Pratt and Sean Clifford go to work and really battle it out for quarterback number 2. Let me know in the comments who you think will end up being quarterback number 2 for the Green Bay Packers. I think Michael Pratt's been more impressive than Sean Clifford, but he's also been playing against a third team defense or second team defense, where Sean Clifford early on played against the first team defense. So yeah, he's probably going to look worse, but a nice fire of a ball here over the middle to Julian Hicks. We also saw that 9 route and 1v1s. Michael Pratt had a really nice throw. He's been impressive for a 7th round quarterback rookie. Nice throw here. Here's an 11v11 play. Jordan Love under center, play action, going to fire a seam ball down the middle to Ben Sims, but he can't hang on. I like this concept, to send a tight end straight down the middle of the field out of an inline right in between the corner and the safety in a cover 3. You got to hang on to that. Obviously, in a real season situation, that's probably either going to be Luke Musgrave or Tucker Kraft. And although Luke Musgrave does have some drop issues, I think Musgrave comes down with that one. I think Tucker Kraft definitely comes down with that one. Ben Sims has been impressive, and yeah, it's a little bit of a high ball, but definitely very catchable. I would put that as a drop on Ben Sims. But I do like the scheme here, the setup. Just tight end down the middle, simple, stretch in the middle of the field in between a cover 3 zone there. It works, just got to come down with it. A nice in-timing 3-step drop throw by Jordan Love to fire it to his tight end here. Here's going to be a very impressive pass breakup by Eric Stokes at the bottom of the screen. It's going to be an out route thrown to Romeo Doubs from Jordan Love. Again, a little bit of a late throw. You'd like to see Jordan Love just fire that a little bit sooner, right off the break of Romeo Doubs, and that might be a catch on the sideline. It's kind of giving a little bit too much time for Eric Stokes to break down on that. But, you love to see Eric Stokes do that. He's had a very impressive camp. This guy's been making plays left and right such as this, and he has by far easily right now been cornerback number 2. Also, Valentine is hurt with the hamstring, so at this point, entering the season, it's almost locked in that Eric Stokes is going to be the cornerback number 2 opposite Jair Alexander. Valentine was practicing well, but Stokes was just better. And then also with, again, the Valentine injury, it's by far going to be Eric Stokes right now because he's making plays such as this, but you'd like to see that timed a little bit better by Jordan Love. Here's another insane seam throw by Jordan Love, and sometimes you don't want to see this in a practice sense because, it looks like Christian Watson comes up a little bit injured, but this throw is just absolutely absurd, kind of similar to another seam throw we saw in a couple practices ago. I put out in one of my videos. This might even be more impressive. You see Edgerrin Cooper dropping back and coverage there, kind of in like a Tampa 2, and splits it over the middle. I think it's Evan Williams at safety. I'm not exactly sure. Yes, it is Evan Williams kind of delivering the hit, knocking away, but it hits Christian Watson in the chest, and I'll showcase it in another angle we have after this. Now, Watson's dad did tweet that he's all okay. So it's not an actual like injury, like he's fine. No concern here. So that's very good because obviously we want Christian Watson to stay healthy, and he's had his injury concerns over the past. But man, what a ball. To fit that in between, over top, Edgerrin Cooper, underneath Evan Williams is just insane. Here's another angle of it. You can really see like how tight this window is and how it literally hits Christian Watson like right in the hands. And I'm not saying he should definitely come up with that because Evan Williams did a good job kind of breaking that up and laying a decent hit there to break that ball up. Evan Williams has been super impressive, kind of a surprise. 4th round pick out of Oregon. They traded up to draft him, and you didn't expect this type of production this early in training camp. And it also helps, Oladapo not being able to practice finally has, I think, started to practice, but Evan Williams, man, he's been great. The safety room has been just transformed completely by McKinney, Bullard, Evan Williams. But back to the throw, man, that's just a ridiculous throw. Again, you don't really want to see that too much in practice because you don't want your guys to get hurt. But man, you've seen throws like that last year from Jordan Love where he just fit it into tight windows and you're sitting there wondering how in the world did he make that throw. But there's another one, just an absolute dime in between 2 defenders. Edgerrin Cooper with nice coverage, bailing out in a Tampa 2 to cover Christian Watson, still, in the way enough. In the way at least a little bit to block Watson's view. So here's a clip of the 3rd-team offense versus the 3rd-team defense on the goal line. We see Jacob Eason under center. I believe Jarvian Howard at running back, and defensive tackle John Ford is just going to blow this up in the backfield. And this is a live tackling session because it was the 2-minute drill. And John Ford, man, we talked about him a couple times in some practice recaps. He's been super impressive. It looks like he's definitely taken a jump and could be, the reason the Packers keep 6 defensive linemen or interior guys. He's kind of the 6th guy right now, but he might kind of make it hard for the Packers to not keep him on the roster. It gives them another option as a run defense type of defensive tackle like a TJ Slayton. And if he's making plays like this, again, against the 3rd-team offensive line, but he's been making plays in training camp. And if you're making plays like this, you'll make the roster. Super impressive tackle for loss here, just kind of swiping over top the center there. I think it was Jacob Monk. Not good to see Jacob Monk there get blown up that easily by John Ford. Let it play once through. Jacob Monk has definitely had his struggles at center. You see it there. John Ford making a tackle for loss. So here's a clip of the starting offense, and this is a tackle for loss by Rashawn Gary on a toss to the outside. I mean, it would have been a tackle for loss. This wasn't a live tackling session, but Rashawn Gary just blew up the right tackle. I believe it was Kadeem Telford or Caleb Jones. I can't really tell, but I just kind of wanted to showcase this clip because this was kind of happening a lot all night, regardless of who the offensive line was. Rashawn Gary blowing up Andre Dillard multiple times. Rashawn Gary blowing up whoever was at right tackle there. I think it was Caleb Jones getting into the backfield for a stop. Can't tell if that was Marshawn Lloyd at running back. But yeah, the defensive line has been blowing up this offensive line. Makes me a little bit worried, but again, we don't have Zach Tom out there. Once we really start to grow that continuity, get the best 5 out there, I think the offensive line will be fine. But so far through training camp, the defensive linemen and the edge guys, they've been simply winning like Rashawn Gary here. Here's another tackle for loss. It's going to be international player Kenneth Odumegwu stopping Jarvian Howard in the backfield. And as impressive play as is by Kenneth Odumegwu, I mean, what is Lecitus Smith doing? Like, there's I don't even, did he even try to block there? Like, that is crazy, right? Not that he was going to make the roster anyways, but you see clips like that and you're just like, ooh, gosh, like he like Royce Newman could do a better job. And that's saying something. That it didn't even seem like he tried to block Odumegwu. So nice heads up play by Odumegwu, but damn, Lecitus Smith, come on, man. To wrap things up, we got some special teams clips for you guys. Obviously there was some kicking during practice as well. Here's a 54-yarder by Anders Carlson. Kick is up and he sneaks it in right near the left upright. That was a good kick. Here's another kick. Anders Carlson, a 57-yarder. It went in, but the refs blew it dead for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. So Anders, made this 57-yard kick. I don't know if it was illegal formation. I'm really not sure what the reason here for the whistle being blown. So he made that kick, but since the whistle was blown and it was a penalty or whatnot, they attempted the kick again, and Anders misses this one. And a lot of people might say, oh, it's Anders Carlson. Oh, again, missing a kick. But look how low the snap is by Matt Orzech. It almost skips off the ground, and I think Daniel Whelan, gets a hand on it and gets that ball down. But again, the continuity, the timing, just a little bit off like it was last year. And I think that was, played into effect of how many times Anders missed kicks. I don't like Matt Orzech as a long snapper. I think Peter Bowden needs to be the guy or someone else. It's just because of issues like this. This continues to happen. And I know a lot of people from the outside looking in might not see that too well and go, oh, well, Anders just missed a kick. This is Anders Carlson. This is why he's not going to be our kicker. But it's not the case. Like, yeah, sure, I'm not putting all the blame on Matt Orzech, but it seems like a lot of Anders misses, it tends to be a bad snap by Matt Orzech. So again, just wrecking the timing. And he made the 57-yarder when it was a good snap right before this. So I don't put the blame too much on Anders here, while some people may. Here's Greg Joseph kicking a 54-yarder, and I believe he nails this one pretty much right down the middle for a nice kick. Man, Greg Joseph has been super impressive. This kicking competition has honestly been more impressive than I thought it would have been. I thought Greg Joseph wouldn't kick too well and he wouldn't be on the roster long. I thought Anders Carlson would get better from last year, which he has, but I thought it would just be like a kind of a quick competition and then it would be Anders. But man, it's still a competition, and either one of these guys could become the kicker of the Green Bay Packers. And so far, Greg Joseph has kicked better. Like in terms of a percentage, he has kicked better, but I think the Packers obviously have more weight on Anders just because they drafted him, but both kickers have been good. I'm interested to see how this kicking competition continues and who ends up winning the job. To wrap things up, just a pretty funny clip here. Jayden Reed doing a punt return, kind of a drill where once he catches a ball, he has to hold on to that ball and continue to catch more punts, or it was a simulated punt by the Jugs machine. But Jayden Reed, it's a breath of fresh air to have a punt returner that isn't going to muff the ball right away like an Amari Rodgers. I mean, you see Jayden Reed out here catching 4 or 5 balls while holding on to the previous catch. It's super impressive. This is very, very hard to do. I mean, watch this last one. Like, how in the world does he catch this ball when he doesn't even have any hands to do so? It's super impressive, and that was the last one he catches there. But by far, caught the most out of this entire drill in terms of punt returners. But, I think it's going to be in between Jayden Reed and Keyshawn Nixon. Maybe they're going to rotate at punt return. Let me know who you think it's going to be at punt return. But Jayden Reed, I think he can definitely do it. Clearly, he has the hands to do so. And we're not going to be looking at players muffing the ball too much like we were in the past. So those are all the highlights I have from Green Bay Packers Family Night Training Camp 2024. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, just wanted to showcase everything that happened, or at least the highlights from family night for all those who couldn't catch it or just want to watch the highlights yet again. I appreciate you guys coming by to the channel. If you could leave a like down below, it supports the channel a ton. Again, massive thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video. I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Pack Go.